I'd like to welcome Offaly's finest son, Mundy, here to Abner Brown's Barbershop in Rathmines. Very welcome.
Thanks very much.
Thanks for coming in.
Very welcome.
I was just going to ask you to start off about you obviously have a fondness for the US as a place to tour and to visit, and your most recent tour last year, you ended up in the White House and met another fella from Offaly there, apparently. What was that like?
It was very strange. It was completely an accident. I did a gig for Barrettstown, just a children's charity here in Ireland, and they decided to do a gig in New York for all the Irish people that were over there.
Yeah.
And about from here to Portobello, away from the venue, I met another Irish person, a girl, and I'd lugging my gear with a fellow musician, and we got talking, and she wanted to know where the after show was and all this kind of stuff. And, we ended up talking anyway, swapped email addresses. She said we should stay in touch, that there's always stuff coming up. Like within a few weeks I got an email back from her saying, are you available to play in the White House on the 15th of March? So it was if it had been outside the venue, I would have thought, okay, right place, right time, but this was a little bit right place at the right time.
It's unbelievable. And you were also recently, you sang Aaron Levine at Kansas City, the baseball game, Kansas City Royals. That must have been
It was weird for me because, I sang along to the Aaron Levine millions of times, but I never quite got the middle of it, you know.
Yeah.
And nobody ever corrected me because I don't know if anybody does really know what's going on in the middle. But I had a friend of mine who's a Gael goer, and she sent me Finbar Wright, 1991, I think, at one of the All Irelands, singing it from start to finish, and I lip synced and sang along to that for I think I sang it about 60 times before the match that day. And I just have a friend. I got asked to do the Kansas City Irish Music Festival last year and this year, and they wanted somebody from Ireland to sing the Irish national anthem. They asked me, and I actually was on holidays down in Wexford, and I sent a demo on my iPhone of me singing it and kind of reading it off a piece of paper, and I went for it.
And then closer to home, then recently you played you did just on Sunday night. You did the fundraiser for Medicine Sans Frontier for the Syrian crisis, and you also played a benefit in the Academy.
With the Berkeley Fund thing, I was in Flynn because it was just I've been to San Francisco, I've been to Berkeley, I've my kids will probably end up going there. My friends that it's a very stupid thing that happened, to be honest. With the way things are built. But anyway, I just felt sorry for the people that were involved, and I jumped at it.
And do you feel as well, in some ways in a less serious note, do you feel kind of have you noticed anything over the last 6-7 years, like in the social terms in Ireland, what's happened in this country has been harder, like for musicians? Or is it
definitely has. Like I noticed about 6 or 7 years ago, my numbers had kind of dropped in a big way, and I took it as quite an insult, or no, maybe not an insult, but I just kind of went, wow, I'm not fitting in anymore, because I put out an album around then, Strawberry Blood, and didn't do too well. It did all right, but it did, got well reviewed. But I think record sales were plummeting everywhere. But I did notice that I was getting asked to play in Australia and in America. I was getting more offers to, in the UAE and stuff. So so I talked to actually Luca Bloom, and he said, listen, everybody's left the country, or else they're gone to suburbia, because you're growing up, and they're everyone grows up. So I have noticed that I'm either wanted out of the country or out in the suburbs. And nobody's really coming into town, my age group, because they've got babysitting to worry about and taxis, and it is expensive. So
the knock-on effect is kind of interesting.
It's kind of times are changing for me.
And do you yourself get to go to gigs often? Because I know a lot of musicians say that their time off, they spend so much time in venues, their time off the last place.
That's ideally what I prefer to do, is go to gigs. But now I've have 2 kids, and I can't kind of resist temptation sometimes. So when I go to a gig, it's gonna be something. I'll stay for one. Then it's like someone buys me another, then I have to buy them one back, and then it's like, school time.
It's breakfast and Sunday. It's like it won't happen next weekend.
I'm trying to just kind of grow up.
Is there any Irish bands taking your fancy at the moment? The new kind of, or what was the last Irish album you bought?
It's very hard. I mean, my album came out at the end of April, and loads of great stuff came out at that time. probably wasn't a great time in reflection of putting my album out, but you know, just some great stuff, you know, with Harm Sandby's new album, The Villagers' new album, Colin McAnummer's new album. Yeah. There's loads of other stuff like De Laurentiis. There's other bands out there that I'm not, you know, there's Twin Headed Wolf and stuff that I like. I will be honest and say that I should know a lot more about what's going on out there. I like that guy Anderson that's going on.
Yeah.
See,
played here.
I do watch Facebook every now and then.
Yeah. You're actually pretty active on Facebook now. In fairness, to you,
I should listen.
Yeah,
have a phone.
And the just in terms of the album itself, the last your self-titled album that came out in April, you were interviewed with Hot Press around that time, and you actually went over to London and met up with you from Killing Joke, who had worked on Jelly Legs with you, and you kind of mentioned that you felt like you were kind of struggling with just there was a lot of balls in the air at the time for a while, and it seemed like it was hard to get back into. Did you find that real help?
Yeah, I did. I was about 16 years after Jelly Legs was released. They played down in the Button Factory. I went down to see him. Hadn't seen him in that 16 years.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh man, yeah, great to see you." And went for a few beers, and I told him that I just become a dad for the second time, and that I'm falling all over the place. Over toys and prams and milk bottles and all sorts of stuff. And he just said, "Listen, I know how it feels. Come over to London, do a bit of writing with me, and I'll unblock all your fears and whatever." Because I was writing stuff, but it was more like angsty or downbeat, and I just wasn't brave enough, I suppose, to kind of write the Fearless single. And he kind of helped me with that, to be honest. And he would have about 2 or 3 writing sessions in one day, and he would just go, "Let's get the skeleton done now," and no, pussyfooting around the place. The Muse has another session to go to. And his house is full of books and pictures and art everywhere, and just very inspiring. And the fact that him being fearless was really inspiring to me.
Well, listen, Mundy, thanks so much for coming into us and into Albert Brown's Barbershop, and you're going to perform a few songs now for the audience here.
Yes,
so
I am
very much looking forward to it, and thanks very much. Really appreciate that. Thanking you.
Okay.